Hi everyone, welcome back to i-TUTOR IAS Academy Tamilnadu History NCERT series. So today we are discussing chapter 21, that is Renaissance. Okay, so this is where we start our world history. So we will cover around I think around 14 units are world history. Okay, and until the last unit we studied modern Indian history. Hope you remember. Please refer our last videos of NCERT history NCERT series. So that is the Indian history, modern Indian history, and before we covered medieval India, and we started from ancient history. Okay, and we just covered till chapter 20, that was modern Indian history. So this is where we start our world history unit. So first of all, Renaissance we start. Okay, so what is Renaissance actually? So Renaissance was a fervent period of European cultural, artistic, political, and scientific rebirth following the Middle Ages, that is spanning roughly the 14th to 17th century. That is the Renaissance period, in that is in Europe. Okay, European countries, the world history actually originating in Florence, Italy. It was driven by a revival of classical Greek and Roman philosophy, that is humanism and artistic innovation. So that is basically the Renaissance. Okay, so this is actually world history is important, maybe for some exams, and also obviously the PG students, and especially for history students, and also the optional subjects may help this world history chapters, and the general studies also it helps some chapters. So that's why we are covering this 14 chapters for world history. Okay, and key aspect of Renaissance are time period and location. So it's around 14 to 1600 roughly, starting in Italy, city states like Florence, before spreading France, Germany, and England. And humanism is one of the key aspect and central philosophy of human potential, creativity, individualism, shifting focus from strictly religious dogma to human achievement and artistic mastery. Key discoveries and inventions are periods, so the major advances in science, including the Copernicus heliocentric model, and technological innovations like printing press, that is Gutenberg's printing press, and the compass. Okay, so geographically compass, and the collapse causes are the collapse of Byzantium led scholars to flee to Italy with the ancient manuscripts, increased wealth from trade. So trade started from this here, and particularly in Italy, city states allowed for patronage of the art, and wealthy families like Medicis in Florence supported artists and thinkers and innovations. Artists like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, writers like Petrarch, who popularized classical studies. And the era include the age of exploration with the figures like Christopher Columbus. Okay, Columbus, explorations are very important in history. And Renaissance marked the transformation transition from the medieval world to modernity, fundamentally changing European art, science, and social societal structure. So the Renaissance actually connect the world. So because the geographical invention and exploration, introducing the compass, printing press are very important in this time. Okay, so further we will discuss in this chapter. The term Renaissance literally means rebirth or revival. Okay, but it refers to the significant changes that took place in Europe during the transition period between the medieval and modern. So there was a revival of literature and art on the intellectual side. The spirit of enquiry led to scientific invention. Politically, this period witnessed the end of feudalism and the emergence of nation states. And the spirit of individualism and humanism began to dominate in the social sphere. The religious transformation was symbolized by the Reformation, and all these changes in Europe were collectively referred to as Renaissance. And the Roman Empire declined by end of 5th century AD. It had resulted in the neglect of classical literature and arts, but these treasures of culture were preserved in the Eastern Roman Empire with its capital at Constantinople. The Ottoman Turk captured Constantinople in 1453. As a result, the Byzantine Greek scholars fled from Constantinople to Rome, and they brought with them the Greek and the Roman heritage. With this revival of classical learning in Italy, a spirit of inquiry developed. The spirit of inquiry stimulated the progress of science, art, architecture, sculpture, painting, literature, geography, and religion. And Renaissance in Italy. Italy is considered the rebirth of place of Renaissance for several reasons. Some of them were: Italy was the seat of ancient civilization and Latin language. The rich city states in Italy, like Florence and Venice, patronized art and literature. For example, the Medici family of Florence had patronized many scholars. The publication of the Divine Comedy by the greatest Italian poet Dante, that is, triggered the Renaissance movement in the city of Florence, and it was written in the Italian language. Thereafter, the Renaissance spread to other part of Europe and reached its peak in the 16th century. And revival of classical literature. So literature was very important in that time. So this is the picture of Petrarch. Okay, who is Petrarch? So we will discuss here. The most important contribution of the Renaissance was the revival and learning of ancient Greek and Latin literature. The pioneer of this effort was Petrarch. Okay, so this is the Petrarch is the contributor for literature, and with his profound knowledge in this language, he collected and compiled many ancient manuscripts containing the work of Plato and Aristotle. His disciple Boccaccio had also encouraged the classical learning, and many Greek scholars who came from Constantinople spread the ancient Greek literature in Florence. The most notable among them was Manuel Chrysolis. Okay, so pronounce your own way. So just take care of the spelling. Okay. And another scholar is Brasiloni, traced the work of Tacitus, Livy, and Sophocles. And in the 15th century, Pope Nicholas V founded the Vatican Library, and the ancient manuscripts were preserved in the library, and they were studied and analyzed by scholars. The contribution of Erasmus is correcting and editing the Latin works was also notable, and he edited the New Testament in the Greek language. This is Livy, Erasmus, and Boccaccio. Okay. The invention of printing press by John Gutenberg, that is on 1398 then 1498, in Germany, had influenced the Renaissance literature. The first book published by him was the Bible, and William Caxton set up a printing press in England. Shortly, many printing presses came up throughout the Europe, and it provided a stimulant to the Renaissance movement. And availability of books at a cheaper rate made the masses to improve their awareness. So printing book is an important change of the society. And Renaissance literature. Apart from the revival of classical literature, many works in classical language as well as in the native language came up during this period, and we have already referred to Dante's Divine Comedy, written in the Italian language. So this is Dante. Okay. And similarly, Chaucer wrote the Canterbury Tales in English, and Boccaccio was the author of the Decameron, a collection of fables, and Machiavelli, who lived in Florence, wrote his 8-volume history of Florence. His most famous work was The Prince, a book on political science. That is Machiavelli. Machiavelli's political science book is very important. And Thomas More is there, Shakespeare. Of course, all of you know Shakespeare literature in English. And while Italy was the home of the most famous literary figure of the Renaissance, a Renaissance literature typically of that period can also be found in France, England, Germany, and Spain. In England, Sir Thomas More, so this is Thomas More, wrote his famous book Utopia in Latin. And however, the Elizabethan era marked the beginning of the English Renaissance, and it was dramatists like William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe and Charles Webster, poets like Edmund Spenser, Sidney and Ben Jonson, and Hakluyt wrote excellent travel accounts during this period. And Montaigne, that is on the French essayist, was the most typical writer of the Renaissance literature, and his work reflect an intense interest in himself and in things connected with the life of man. And his essays on education were regarded as important for centuries. A forerunner of Voltaire, in his method of writing and thinking, Montaigne revolted against the authority and the tyranny of the past and earned the title the first modern man. And in Germany, Martin Luther translated Bible in the German language. So this is Martin Luther. And Sebastian Brand wrote The Ship of Fools. In Spain, Cervantes authored the famous Don Quixote. Okay, Quixote. So that is Renaissance literature. Next is Renaissance art. Art in the Middle Age was dominated by the Christian religion and church. So during the Renaissance, importance was given to the love of nature and human body. Although the spirit of humanism prevailed, the subject matter of the most of the Renaissance art was Christian. Renaissance painting bloomed most famously in Italy, that is Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael were the dominant figures among the Renaissance painters. So this is Da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci, one of the most versatile men of his time, and was an artist, poet, musician, and engineer. Hence, he is known as the Renaissance man. Born in Florence, he visited several countries. He was patronized by the Duke of Milan. His famous painting were the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. Michelangelo. Michelangelo was both a painter and a sculptor. He lived in Florence and patronized by the Medici family. Later, he went to Rome, and the magnificent frescoes on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican represent his most brilliant achievement in painting. This work contained 145 pictures with 394 figures, some of which are as much as 10 feet high, and his painting The Last Judgment is considered the best in the world. So that is about Michelangelo. And Raphael achieved a rare blending of devotional feeling with the sense of beauty. This is Raphael. Although Raphael died at the age of 37, he produced a great number of paintings, of which the most familiar is the Madonna. And the Venetian school is an excellent example of the secularization of the Renaissance art. Artistic expression in Venice was worldly and materialistic, and Titan, that is 1477 to 1576, and Tintoretto were the greatest painters of Venice. That next is Renaissance sculpture. The art of sculpture had also witnessed progress during the Renaissance period, and it was more original and beautiful. The pioneer of the Renaissance sculpture was Lorenzo Ghiberti. So this is Lorenzo Ghiberti, and the magnificent doors at the baptistery of Florence were his masterpiece, and Michelangelo appreciated the beauty of these doors as worthy to the gate of the paradise, and Donatello produced the status of St. George in Florence and that of St. Mark at Venice. And Michelangelo, besides being a painter, was a celebrated sculptor. He produced some of his best sculpture for the Medici family in Florence. He was also the creator of the status of David in Florence, and Brunelleschi and Robbia were the other famous sculptures of this period. And one of the most familiar example of the Renaissance architecture is St. Peter's Church of Rome. And next is development of science. So, development of science in Renaissance time, the spirit of modern science was born with the Renaissance, and science in the Middle Age struggled against superstitions. Renaissance brought about a critical observation of natural phenomena. This spirit of learning took root in science, and Francis Bacon, that is considered the father of modern science. Francis Bacon. So, this is Francis Bacon picture, and he denounced the deductive method and advocated the inductive method in scientific research. And Descartes brought out convincingly the necessity of questioning everything, and Descartes contributed the idea of doubt, and doubt was the forerunner of a new age in science. Okay, so this is picture of Copernicus. And Copernicus established the heliocentric theory, and according to this theory, the heavenly bodies do not revolve about the earth as believed during the period but around the sun. And next is Kepler. Kepler formulated mathematical law to support the conclusion of Copernicus. He also stated that the planets revolve around the sun in elliptical orbit, and Galileo, through the invention of the telescope, brought new evidence to support the Copernicus theory. So this is Galileo, this is Kepler, and this is Newton. So all of you know, all scientists. Newton concluded that the movement of all celestial bodies were controlled by gravitation. With the new astronomical knowledge that was available, the old Julian calendar was reformed in 1582 by Pope Gregory. And the humanistic spirit of Renaissance had also awakened increased interest in the study of medicine and anatomy. And Vesalius, a Netherlands, wrote a treatise on human anatomy. William Harvey discovered the blood circulation, a prime contribution to medical science. And in this period, the chemistry became something more than alchemy. And Paracelsus showed that reactions in the human body involved chemical changes, and he had employed chemicals for the medicinal purpose. And the Codus made either from sulfuric acid and alcohol, and Helmont discovered the carbon dioxide. Okay. And the result of Renaissance. So what is the result of Renaissance? The Renaissance remained the symbol of the beginning of the modern age, and the spirit of inquiry and the consequent scientific invention produced important changes in the life of humanity. And the invention of the Mariner's compass and other astronomical faith led to the geographical discoveries, and the impact of these discoveries was profound in the political and economic life of the people. And the reasoning spirit and resulted in the reformation and changed the outlook of the people towards religion. So this is the picture of William Harvey. So what are the important historical events in this chart? It is humanism taught at Padua University in Italy, that is on 1300. And 1341 is Petrarch given the title of poet literature in Rome, and university established in Florence. And Geoffrey chose Canterbury Tales published, and Brunelleschi designed the Duomo in Florence, and Gutenberg prints the Bible with movable type, and Leonardo da Vinci paints the Last Supper, and Michelangelo paints the Sistine Chapel ceiling, and Thomas Munro Utopian published, and Andres Wessel write on anatomy. These are on 50s. And 1543. Okay, and 1582, that is Gregorian calendar introduced by Pope Gregory. And William Harvey links the heart with blood circulation. Isaac Newton Principia Mathematica published in 1687. These are the important historical events of Renaissance. So the Renaissance means the rebirth of all things that is on literature, art, sculpture, and science, and technology. All field are the rebirth happened in this Renaissance period. Okay, so this is all about this world history first chapter Renaissance. And in case any doubt, you can contact us anytime. And for more NCRT series, you just do like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.